almost shifting. We got pizza, moving boxes, or else Checkers beats us. Life is rough here in the depths of space. If shit set comes a-knocking, we shoot them in the face. Gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo. Hail Cargonia, gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo. All right, I got another verse. I hear a boy coming right in my instance, and it just asks me why I blew them all away. But I feel so great now with Sovereign Cargonia. Every round we stand our ground. Gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo. Hail Cargonia, gun cargo. Gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo. Hail Cargonia, gun cargo, gun cargo. Gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo, gun cargo.
Get back to work. That's a pipe!
Alrighty, lovely that the sound thingamajigger works. I'm glad it does. Hello, everybody, again. Welcome to the Lego stream, where Doctor Who woke up not feeling like cooking, which sucks because I love cooking. Cooking is fun, it is great, but damn it, come on. I just wasn't prepared after the weekend that I had. Come on. Let's just select, do it like that. Add to media player. There we go. And now we are jamming. Just call us Bob Marley, because we be jamming. Alright. Get our refreshments. There we go. Get you clean. And let's figure out where stuff is going to live. There we go. Alright, so, hello. Yes, there we go. So when I left off, I was desperately trying to assemble this thing, which is the bridge. And it lives right up here. And we build off these little wings, which is viewports for the bridge, and there's some safety lights on either side. And then one of my most interesting building techniques was that the difference between tiles and plates was featured. Plates, that is, these things with the studs on them, are ever so slightly thicker than tiles. So you may think, oh hey, this connection right here with the plate like literally going in between the studs, that's illegal. No, because it doesn't put stress on the bricks. It does not deform the brick, and it does not put stress on the brick. So if you get a 2x10, if you get a 2x10 long piece like that, and you put tiles in between the studs, eventually they're going to like bow out. But if you put plates in, they fit and they don't bow out. It's an interesting building technique, and it surprises me whenever it's used. So this is where I left off at the end of Friday. This is where I left for Striker. I honestly don't think they were. I think a lot of our more useful, crazy connections came about on accident. Some of the more esoteric connections, like that. But it's like, I do think that a 1x1 being exactly 5 plates tall and exactly 3 plates thick, that is not coincidence. That was designed. But being... Wait, no. It's a 1x2 that's... Yeah, a 1x2 is 5 plates. 5 studs is 5 plates. And 1 brick is 3 plates. So yeah, it's like, I think when Lego designers, or Lego fan designers, got more mature and started experimenting, they started noticing that, yes, here we go, that, yes, while they fit, perfect example, like it's already starting to bow out. This is illegal. Because it's not in system. It puts too much stress on the bricks. However, this is perfectly fine. It's not illegal, Mundane. This is not an illegal building technique. It does not put undue stress It does not put undue stress on the bricks. It does not deform the bricks. And it fits. But yeah, no, when more mature, more professional designers started using Lego, I think that's where some of the more out there design ideas came on. Delta, the difference between plates and tiles and stacking them sideways in between studs. So, for example, like what I just did, this tile right here, if I take this other tile and start stacking them in between the studs, like this, you can see how it's starting to bow and curve out. This is placing too much stress on the bricks. And that is because a plate, this is a plate, this is a tile. Tiles are smooth, plates have studs. Tiles are ever so slightly thinner. So I can do this. I can make dominoes, and it's in system. Yes, this one. That's why I brought it up. That's why I was discussing it. Where I left off last Friday, I was finishing up the bag. I was finishing up the bridge. And these walls right here for the bridge are tiles or plates in between studs. Anyway, let's get to bricking. Okay. So I need 2B jumpers. I need half plates. I need 1-bys, and I need seat cushions. I mean, they still do, buddy. They still do. It's just, when you're at this level of detail, things have to get abstracted. That's a lot of tile. Like, this isn't a financial bankruptcy decision. This is a valid building technique that has allowed for a level of detail in sets that is allowed for an expansion in detail. A shipwreck. I love how we're all thinking the same thing. Yeah, they make handrail pieces, just not at this scale. They make a minifigure scale. And as cool as I would have loved it to build a minifigure scale Titanic, that thing would be the size of my house. Like, if we assume that this is roughly the size of a minifigure, right? Right, about 5 bricks, that's about the size of a minifigure. If this set was minifigure scale, like, it would not be nearly as affordable. It would have so many pieces, and it would be the size of a car. No, it'd be the size of a semi. Just back of the napkin math guesstimating. Yeah, it'd be the size of a semi-truck. Yes, so the popular the popular the pop culture facts that we all know about the Titanic is that, oh, the Titanic didn't have nearly enough lifeboats for all of its passengers. To modern standards. To modern safety standards. The design philosophy and rescue philosophy of the time, this was what Samurai yelled at me about, so thank you for educating me, is that lifeboats are not survival craft. They are ferries. The popular assumption at the time was that other craft, be they merchant, be they civilian, be they military, would be close enough in the shipping lanes that the lifeboats would be able to ferry survivors from the floundering boat to the rescue vessel. Oh, no, absolutely. There are so many different factors as to all of the decision-making, all of the construction that went into this unfortunate tragedy, but the lifeboats were thought to be adequate for the time. Hey, Digi. I saw some of the cards that were revealed, and I am very excited for it. It's actually starting to look like a boat now. Also, I feel like it's a crying shame that the Olympic and Britannic don't get nearly enough historical or pop culture mention. Like, they were all fantastic boats for their time. All nearly identical, and in fact, the Olympic was supposed to be the largest. The Titanic and Olympic were in construction in the Belfast yards, where she was raised, of Harland Wolff design. The plan was struck to build 3 ships. Britannic hit a mine. Oh, that is a good boat. Oh, that is a good boat. So Olympic and Titanic were in construction at the same time. I even read that synopsis here. At the beginning of the build. And at some point during construction, the Olympic got finished first, I believe, and was launched. And then they're just like, well, what if we add this 15 feet of extra decking and railing to the Titanic? So she's bigger. And so they did. The hulls of all 3 boats are identical. But from bow to stern, the Titanic has about 15 feet of extra deck space. That's why she's bigger. Why would you add mass after the engineering was completed? Hubris. Pride. Notoriety. Look at any modern building construction, and the owners are constantly, hey, what if we add this one thing while it's actively being constructed? And look at how many times the final drafts of engineering documents had to be revised during construction. We talked about this with New Schwanstein while I was constructing it. It is famously an unfinished castle because King Ludwig kept adding and modifying the design while it was being constructed. Granted, he was a monarch and almost had the personal fortune to bankroll it, and it was a passion project of his. But the point stands. People are going to change designs during construction all the way up to the 11th hour, whether the designer likes it or not. I think they eroded shamans. Digi. Fairly certain they eroded shamans to be sorcerers or something like that. Oh, we demand cat picture. Alright, fine. You can bring some animals on board. Just so long as none of them are, venomous or, or large, hungry creatures. Ah, damn it. Hey, we taught this bird how to drink. Want to see him take a shot of Tito's? Do I ever? Hey, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out here. We've heard that there's dastardly Japanese ships around. To a dastardly Japanese ship, which proceeds to open fire. Jesus Christ. How incompetent was the Navy? Pet pictures and then link the picture to chat. I'm sure Samurai can give you advice on how to properly copy the picture, as he is overdue for a picture of Harpo. He's not allowed in the office today? Aw. What did he do to get put in jail? Bookshelf terrorism. Yeah, that sounds like Harpo. I have never met Harpo. I only know of Harpo through what you have said of him, but that sounds like him. There we go. Kitty kitty? Ah. The other copy image, Delta. That one is linking us straight to the Discord. But I will just go to the Discord. Oh. Oh, look at your little boys. Oh, look at them. Oh, look at the fuzzies. There you go. Yes. Yes, it is. You have given us Ket. Chat is appeased. Well, either way, they are absolutely adorable. Pet appears to be unavailable because I do not actually have a pet. So it is to prevent you all from retrieving pets that cannot be redeemed. So, everyone just yell at Delta to pet the kitties! Hello, Night Owl. I was going through my phone and found pictures from March of last year when I went and visited Mad Ducks and found pictures of Smokey being an adorable little kitten. That cat was so small and so sweet. I don't actually have water, but I do have root beer. Yeah. We got a picture of him getting held and getting all sorts of lovin's. And then I'm laying down on the couch underneath the blanket. Smokey's just curled up on top of me. He's just like, this is my bed. And I'm just like, yes, Smokey. Yes, it is. Here we are constructing a funnel. Actually, I don't know what the hell this is. Look at me saying something confidently incorrect on the internet. Yes, I am on the second section of box 1. I am about to be constructing the smokestacks, the funnels. But it's like what are these things called on boats that like the big pipe with the with like looks like a big old trumpet? Are those funnels? How many boxes are there? There are 3 boxes. Those are funnels. So this is an impression of a funnel. What are they for? Ventilation? Ventilation, okay. I say ventilation, you say air intake, and I'm just like... That's basically the same difference. Okay, hey, Night Owl, I've got a question for you. Got a kind of strange question for you. Which Spider-Man, which iteration of Spider-Man does the best at representing New York? And if you're not a Spider fan, don't worry about it. Just tell me. Because I just played through all of PlayStation's Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. I literally just got finished with it. And I'm wondering if those maps are an accurate depiction of Manhattan. Yeah, New York is New York. Metropolis is New York. Gotham is Chicago, which makes the modern DC Justice League movie absolutely insane. I love this classic phone element. It's a minifigure phone right there. Why were they trying to be realistic with New York? I assume to tell people, hey, look, superheroes could exist in our world. Look, can you imagine Spider-Man swinging down Times Square? Or putting the star on top of the, of Rockefeller Plaza? Or you're talking about the Justice League thing. Yes, like, literally, Gotham and Metropolis are, like, literally across from, across a bay from each other. Which was wild to me, given how, like how was Metropolis not overrun with all of the organized crime that runs around Gotham, you know? Like, how did that not spill over? I know, Star City is roughly LA. I know Central City is roughly St. Louis. Yes, you should. Unless you don't want to. In which case, don't. If you want to keep it as a collector's, cool. Keep it as a collector's. If you want to build it and have fun with it, do it. Have fun with it. What I love is when DC characters interact with the city that they live in is supposed to be. It's just like, oh, where are the heroes gonna go? New York. Wait a minute. I think there was also a Flash episode, like, where he actually, like, ran through St. Louis or something like that. Comics are weird. Not gonna lie, I love the City Museum. For those of you who don't know, the City Museum is a art installation in downtown St. Louis that is essentially a giant indoor jungle gym. Like, it's got crevices and caves and all sorts of really, really interesting constructions that you can crawl through. One of my favorite things as a kid was that I am now woefully too big to do, was there is a small hole in the floor that that you can crawl into, and then it goes about 30 feet underneath the floor, and you come out of another small hole. And when I was half the size that I am now, I used to love crawling through it. It was really fun, and I would get stuck now. I would get so stuck. No, the City Museum is a great little place. We also have a gaming bar called Up Down that regularly hosts pinball leagues, and they post the pinball high scores on the machines. The ship's communication room contained one of the most powerful transmitters in the world, guaranteed to broadcast at a radius of 3,500 or 350 miles. Shame it only contacted like one ship. That is a super interesting building technique. There's a bar down there. There's a bar down here that that this clips onto. There's enough space in here for one tile, and it fills in all of the gaps really neatly. That is a outstanding building technique right there. I am impressed. Alrighty. Don't know what's getting referenced. I'm sorry, Persona. Okay. Let's see if I can't do it like this. There we go. Uh-oh. Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Right here. Lovely. Okay. Boom. There we go. Oh, Knight. So sorry. Go do whatever it is that helps your migraines. I'm so sorry that you are not feeling good. Bag 11, give it up for Bag 11. Rimward, hell yeah. Congratulations on employment. Well, that's essentially all that the historical notes will say about the Titanic. Like, that was the entire thing about it. It was quote-unquote, the biggest ship of its time, ever up until that point. I had just discussed how the Olympic and Titanic were in construction in Belfast at the same exact time, using the same exact schematics. And the Titanic, late into production, was given an extra 15 feet of rear decking to outclass, or should I say overtake, the Olympic for the title of largest ship ever constructed. There's a song about this by the Longest Johns that I have sung a couple of times. About the history of the three sister ships. In the Belfast yard where she was made of Holland Wolf design, the plan was struck to build three ships that funds would not define. The gantry raised up in '08, a nameless line arose to make the journey to New York in record time, and so she's the pride of the White Star Line. May her engines never stall. Her sisters died from Berg and mine, but she'll run for decades more. She'll run for decades more. Olympic soon became a stamp. No finer ship did sail. Smoking rooms and Turkish baths and palm trees rail to rail. As sleek and striking as can be, with speed second to none. She'll make the journey to New York in record time. No, wait, no. She left the dock in Portsmouth and showed the world how it was done. She's the pride of the White Star Line. May her engines never stall. Her sisters died from Berg and mine, but she'll run for decades more. She'll run for decades more. The Hawk was running long her side around the Isle of Wight. A swing to starboard up and took the helmsman by surprise. 2 holes were punched into her side and water flooded in. She staggered back to Portsmouth dock and lived to sail again. She's the pride of the White Star Line. May her engines never stall. Her sisters died from Berg and mine, but she'll run for decades more. She'll run for decades more. Titanic sank into the depths. Britannic joined her too. Through the wars, Olympic kept on singing sure and true. Missions out in open sea with U-boats in her stead. Damn near cut 'em clean in half and sank 'em to the bed. She's the pride of the White Star Line. May her engines never stall. Her sisters died from Berg and mine, but she'll run for decades more. She'll run for decades more. Well, every dog must have its day, and all good things must pass. Shipyards forged much bigger craft that dwarfed her in her class. The trips were few and fares declined, the world marched on ahead. pulled her down in Jarrow Town, still striking till the end. She's the pride of the White Star Line, may her engines never stall. Her sisters died from Berg and mine, but she'll run for decades more. She'll run for decades more. Alright, so let's talk about the historicity of that song. It is a song by the Longest Johns called The White Star Line. And it is about the Olympic, the longest surviving ship of those sisters. In the early 1900s, plans were designed from the White Star Shipping Company to build the largest ships imaginable. They wanted notoriety, they wanted fame, they wanted to have the biggest and the best. So they contracted the shipbuilders, Harland and Wolff, to basically wrote them a blank check and said, build us the biggest, bestest ships that you can, the most luxurious ships that you can. Here, take our money. Not necessarily the fastest. There were faster ships. And in fact, like, their engines could have been more powerful, but that would have required bigger engines, less room, more coal, all that jazz. So they were not making the trip the fastest, but they were the fanciest and the largest, and that's important. Construction began in the Belfast in the Belfast Naval Docks in Northern Ireland in 1908. And the Olympic's keel was put down. Soon after, the Titanic also had her keel put down. The Olympic, I believe, finished construction first. That sounds like a very German thing. Somewhere during construction, they're just like, wait a minute. The Titanic, that name means the biggest, right? So how is it not the biggest right now? So that's where like an extra 15-ish feet of rear decking was ordered to be laid onto the Titanic to make her the biggest ship ever constructed at that time. Did not really affect her gross weight tonnage or her cargo capacity, but just made her the longest ship. If I'm saying anything wildly inaccurate, I'm sure Samurai will yell at me. The next line. The Hawk was running along her side around the Isle of Wight. A retired Navy ship named the Hawk and the Olympic were sailing through the Irish Sea around the Isle of Wight when I believe the Olympic took an unexpected starboard turn, and could be due to navigational incompetence, could be due to the sheer size of the Titanic sucking in the sucking in the Hawk, which, like I said, was a retired Navy ship. And one of the Navy design practices at the time was to have a reinforced bow that could survive a ram. Ramming was still seen as a viable naval tactic in this era. Because we're in the early days of all-steel vessels at this point, right? Another contemporary ship to this is the Polaris, the Endurance. It's a wooden ship with steel reinforcements and a coal-fired engine, right? Sent to explore the Antarctic. Wooden ships were still in navies, but they were being like, wait a minute, no, we want industrialization. So they started doing going for steel ships, and a holdover of the design practices, because Navy men don't like changes, was having rams on the bow. So the Hawk was the Hawk, I believe, had one of these reinforced bows, which was designed to pierce holes underneath the waterline and flood and flounder a ship. And well, 2 holes were punched into her side, and water flooded in. 2 holes were punched into the Olympic, and she took on a massive amount of water. She staggered back to Portsmouth Dock and lived to sail again. This just reinforced the idea that these boats were unsinkable, because holy crap, like the PR from this, the PR from this, like, world's largest ship ever constructed took a direct blow from a modern Navy vessel and kept on sailing. So this is where I'll hold on for Persona. Are you back, Persona? Persona non grata. No, I'm being stupid. He's dead, Jim. Hey, Chocobo. Persona. Uh-oh. Oh, my streaming thing. Are we having fun yet? Yes. Yes, we are. Alright, Persona, you're back yet? Yeah, it's got him. Quick, someone give him a hat. Alright, hey, welcome back, Persona. You have a hat. Alright. So, continuing that conversation. So, the absolute PR field day that people had from the fact that the largest passenger vessel ever constructed just took a direct hit from a Navy ship and kept on sailing. This is where the talk of these ships being unsinkable really ramped up. Because, again, the Olympic just took a direct hit from a ship designed for ramming and sinking other military vessels and kept on sailing. Staggered back to Portsmouth Dock and lived to sail again. Titanic sank into the depths. Britannic joined her too. This is also referenced in the chorus. Her sisters died to Bergen mine. Titanic, as we know, on her maiden voyage in 1912? Yeah, 12. Either due to a freak accident or about naval leadership that had been quietly saying since Lisa, rams were a wild goose chase in terms of construction and tactics. Like, I don't think it had been a valuable naval tradition since Roman times, because I recall Roman naval tradition was to turn it into a land battle, so they'd try to ram into enemy vessels and board them with their troops. The Romans were not as prodigious sailors as other great powers of the time. Anyway, back to boats. Were the days of the trireme, to be fair. Yeah, Roman and Greek naval combat. Until ranged armaments started becoming more and more prevalent, and better designed. Anyway, fair enough. Anyway, the Titanic, on its maiden voyage, either due to a freak accident, incompetence on the crew's part, or just complete random tragedy, struck an iceberg in the mid-Atlantic and sank, never to be seen again. Oh wait, no, we know exactly where it is, and we've gone down and visited it. Some people with less sense in them than others. Ocean Gate. That's all I'm gonna say. So something happened around 1914. And that is the outbreak of the Great War. World War I, as it's now known. And many, if all, civilian vessels that could float and could hold cargo and could be converted into military vessels were appropriated, were requisitioned by the British government, with quote-unquote fair compensation given to the owners. The British government paid the White Star Line shipping company to basically buy the Olympic and Britannic from them. The Britannic was converted into a hospital ship. And the the Olympic was converted into some sort of just cargo troop transport and had guns. The Titanic or the Olympic had guns on her, I believe. When Samurai gets back, he will correct me. But I believe the Britannic was sailing in the Aegean Sea. She was sailing in Greece. And struck a sea mine and sank in relatively shallow waters. Much shallower than the Titanic, but deep enough that like a dive could be possible without too much equipment. So her sisters died to berg and mine. Titanic sank into the depths after striking an iceberg. And the Britannic, while going to the theater in Greece, struck a sea mine and sank in the sank in the Greek Sea. So, missions out at open sea with U-boats in her stead. Damn near cut him clean in half and sank him to the bed. I believe this is referencing a story about the Olympic, that she was sailing in the English Channel and was being dogged by a German U-boat. And I believe she had damaged it. The crew had managed to land a few shots on the U-boat. And then somehow or another, this is not the first time, or this is not, that incident with the Hawk was not the only time that there was a ramming incident with the Olympic. The Olympic charged the U-boat, and with the size of her hull and the strength of her propellers, damn near cut it clean in half. Like, literally rolled over a U-boat. I just found it funny that it wasn't the first and only that the Hawk wasn't the only ramming that the Olympic did. But yeah, it's like in World War II or World War I, I believe the U-boats were quite shallower vessels than they were in the Second World War. Which made ramming them a much more viable tactic. So, what was it? Well, every dog must have its day, and all good things must pass. Shipyards forged much bigger class that dwarfed her in her class. After the war, and she was refurbished and returned to the White Star Line. Shipping companies started building bigger, better, faster vessels. And it became financially unviable to keep the at that point. At that point, the ship was woefully obsolete and incredibly out of date. And what does a company do with an asset that isn't making them money and is costing them money? They sold it to a salvage company to at least get some funds back. Not necessarily sure what Jarrowtown is referring to, but I think that's the city, the area where the salvage company operated out of. That's the historicity of that song that I just sung. Like she was a fine vessel. And it's like, what? It would have been amazing for her to have survived and been turned into a museum ship dedicated to the history of the White Star Company and to the memory and legacy of her sister ships, the Titanic and the Britannic. Be that as it may, money is money. Number of shipyards in Jarrow, fair enough. And here is Samurai spitting mad facts. The Arthur, we talked about this with the Arthur M. Anderson being in dry dock for the last couple of years as the company wonders what to do with her. She is, according to sources, still a perfectly fine and serviceable vessel, the Arthur M. Anderson. And people love the idea of her still kicking around and honoring the legacy of the Edmund Fitzgerald. But again, she is a company asset, and if she costs more money for the company than it costs to keep her around, then that's the inevitable is going to happen. But it would be, and if that does happen, I can only pray that her bridge and forecastle could be preserved and kept as a museum piece or legacy for that fateful day. But the Titanic or the Britannic, the Olympic being scrapped is just what happened to ships back then. Sad, yes, but it's what happened. couldn't really make them out of wood anymore, could you? After you deforested the entire islands. So I like this large panel up here in the front, this little clip right here, and this little clip right here, is keeping the two sections of hull locked together. Samurai, do you happen to know which Greek body of water the Titanic sank in? I was telling everybody that she was converted into a hospital ship and was being sent to Greece to do hospital ship things when she hit a sea mine and sank. And I can't remember what body of water she sank in. And is she... Yeah, I think she's not too deep. That dives can't happen. But out of, like, respect and it, like the fact that, like, it's a grave, dives don't happen. Right? Now, come on. Get in the holes. There we go. Good boy. Persona, I know what I said, and I said it because I wanted to. But, also, Samurai, question, from a, as a boat and as a Lego person. If this model was minifigure scale, it would be huge, would it not? Of course they did the math. They did the monster math. It was a graveyard graph. 21.5 feet. That is little over 7-ish meters. Yeah, that's about the size of a semi, right? Please send me this link. Because that sounds amazing. Built by a 10-year-old autistic boy is built for public viewing. Okay. Okay, thanks, Australia. Permanent home at top U.S. museum. 8 meters long, 1.5 meters tall. Young teen from Iceland. Come on. That's incredible. That is incredible. Now, I wonder how much of the internal is modeled, or if it's exclusively an external visual model only. Well, I know where I'm gonna have to go and see at some point in the nearest future. See you later, Grimos. Oh, hey! That's where Dollywood is. Gatlinburg! I've always wondered where that is. That's only an 8-hour drive. All right. Oh, come on, you silly camera. There you go. I love how these stands look like wood. I really do. It's a nice little touch. No, I mean, like, yeah, it is brown bricks, but, like, it's affecting a wood stand rather well. Oh. I forgot. Okay, give me a second. There we go. I forgot to put the tops on the lifeboats. When was this step? Okay, that's another oops. Guess I just wasn't paying goddamn attention. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the bow of the boat. With the bridge and first funnel. And the grand staircase with a little bit of a lounge up there. Ship's compass. Ugh. It is time to do it. Box 2. Yep. Wrong. There we go. Ignore the fact that I'm in my jammies. Look at this. You're at home, you do you, dog. Oh, I love this line art. Perspective. All right. Now we need to sort these bags. Oh, that is just impressive. Oh. No. The Lucky Bamboo set is a really cute set. Space Battleship Yamato, Star Blazers. Why are there so many Legos? I have a problem. There we go. Everything organized. Oh, hello, Harpo. It literally already is a kit. $100, 1,500 pieces. Now, granted, it's apparently only the front half of the complex. World's most luxurious passenger liner, designed to be the epitome of style, comfort, and luxury, Titanic aimed to convey the impression of being a floating hotel rather than a ship. It offered its 833 first-class passengers a vast range of facilities, including an onboard gymnasium, squash court, swimming pool, libraries, and exquisite restaurants and cabins. The ship's most distinctive feature was the grand staircase, built in solid oak that descended in a sweeping curve through 7 decks of the liner. That is large. Also, Axis and Allies spotted. Wizard of Oz. Lots of botanicals back there. Ah, you have a German Stein. Nice. Looking at the rest of your stuff, you got a little plush Dalek up there. Hee. Just analyzing your shit. Pathfinder, nice. Couple of planes. The second class dinner menu dated April 14th, 1912, the date the Titanic struck the iceberg. Dinner, consomme, which is a soup of some sort, tapioca, baked haddock, sharp sauce, cured chicken and rice, curried chicken and rice, ooh, spring lamb and mint sauce, roast turkey and cranberry sauce. I could get behind that. Green peas, turnips, boiled rice, boiled and roast potatoes, plum pudding, wine jelly, coconut sandwich, American ice cream, nuts, fresh fruit, cheese, biscuits, coffee. Oh, I could get behind that. So we got the gym right here. Elegant splendor of a first-class parlor suite, B57. Oh, that is nice. Reading room on the upper promenade. That just looks like someone's lounge. Oh, man. The main dining. That's huge. The amount of space that went into a dining room, that is crazy. The first class lounge. Not cargo, not passenger storage. This is just a lounge. This is just for relaxing. Holy shit. The Cafe Parisien. An extension of the first class restaurant. Wow. Started out as a concept model during a free build session, LEGO designers quickly developed into one of the largest LEGO sets ever created. Impressive size, however, was never the goal itself. Instead, it grew in detail as the design team came up with more host of intricate details they felt had to be included. For veteran LEGO designer Mike Psaki, this included creating replica steam engines with moving pistons, including LEGO Technic elements. Once the initial design was in place, the team sat for an entire week building out different versions, deciding what needed to be strengthened or simplified. The funnel and main cabins. Here you'll build another cross-section of the ship, including some coal bunkers in the lowest decks, plus numerous cabins of various classes. The superstructure of this section contains the beginnings of the ship's promenade decks, as well as a skylight for the grand staircase and second funnel. Second half of the locking mechanism that holds the main three sections of the ship together is built here. This is a crazy, crazy thing. This is a great build, though. I am having a lot of fun with this. That slip-in thing That's a wild building technique, and I fucked it up already. Wave motion gun. Interesting little wargaming historical note. You have 1 hit point. Pretty much every person alive has 1 hit point. What do you mean I have 1 hit point? If I've statted my a commoner in D&D has like at least 4. Yes, modern hit points, but the idea of hit points came about because of people talking about how many naval gun, like large 8-inch gun shells can something take. How many hits can it take before it is rendered inoperable? So, boats have about 4, 5, 6, something like that. Like how many direct hits from the main gun of a battleship can a ship take? And that is a hit point. So, how many hit points can you and I take? Well, 1, and then we are rendered combat ineffective. You become physics at that point. Or as Tex would say, rendered into the past tense. Connected to God's Wi-Fi. disconnected from the Minecraft server. Yeah, Arxo. Like, something like that. Like, how many hits could this vessel theoretically take from an 8-inch gun before it is rendered combat ineffective, either by becoming a coral reef, or its weapons and engines are rendered inoperable and it's just a floating steel husk? That is what a hit point historically started as. A wargaming abstraction. And by wargaming, I mean war. How many hit points does a mountain have? Asked the Wisconsin temper. Oh, Apocalypse. That's a good reference. If anyone doesn't know, I believe this is a reference to the Korean War or something. Either way, Korean War. A Korean encampment on the shore fired a rocket at it wasn't the Wisconsin. The Wisconsin was in the fleet alongside this vessel, but it hit the deck and it actually hit the vessel. Whatever this munition was, it actually hit the vessel, but did relatively no damage. So the captain of this vessel ordered that the main guns be brought to bear, aimed at the emplacement where the shots came from, and told his men to fire everything. He changed the topography of that mountain because his pride got hurt. And allegedly, the signalman of the signalers of the Wisconsin, 16-inch guns firing a whole parking lot of spicy Volvos. Yep. Allegedly, after the volleys died down, the signalers of the Wisconsin signaled this other vessel, saying, "Temper, temper." Or was it the Wisconsin that got hit and fired? But it's like, tisk, tisk, tisk. That was a little overkill. It's like you destroyed an entire mountain. Like, literally. Like, the Buck got hit, or the Buck signaled the Wisconsin? But no, like that's how powerful these naval guns are. It took a rather prominent, like a very tall hill/mountain, and turned it into a smoking crater. one of my favorite pictures of just pure military might is a picture of the USS Missouri. With all 9 of her guns brought to bear on broadside and firing, and just the absolute crater that it made in the water. And the fact that you can visibly see the boat list. That's a lot of power. But no, it's just like a Navy battleship but it's like a Navy battleship got butthurt and decided to change local topography, and all that and all that happened was one of its sailing mates just went tisk, tisk, tisk. That was kind of stupid. Hi, Captain, deleting West. Recruit, yes, Sergeant. I don't like that mountain. Yes, Sergeant. Remove it from my sight. Yes, Sergeant. Boats have big guns. Boats have big guns.
Ape.
I feel like we're making good progress on this, and then I turn around and see the box behind me. But yes, long story short, that's where hit points come from. Excuse me. Ah, shit. Oh, where did those swimmers come from? Oh, okay, there's the neuropathy. Ow. Alright. How big of a gun is big enough that faster rate of fire would be better? Don't forget about Bodie McBoatface. Pretty sure that one's... no. Bodie McBoatface is a submersible. It is a submersible drone thing. It was the contest to name an Arctic exploration vessel, right? And the winner was Bodie McBoatface, but they chose something else. But then they named one of its drones Bodie McBoatface, I believe. Oh, you want to get a laugh? Look up Wisconsin plow names. Look up Wisconsin snowplow names. It's either Wisconsin or Minnesota. They do have a Plowy McPlowface. You're a Blizzard Harry. Yep. Cleropartha. I hope root beer satisfies your water. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. What's up, Persona? You don't like people having stupid fun? I just thought it was interesting that they just got ridiculous names. Thank you, Night Owl. Yes, I talked about that. The vessel was named something respectable, but one of its drones, its unmanned vehicles, was named Bodie McBoatface in honor of the contest. McBoatbot. The Blizzard of Oz. That's a good one. Albert Einstein is clever as well. I came, I thought, I conquered. Walter the Salter. Oh. 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 I'm glad you all are having... I'm glad I introduced that to you all. I am glad I introduced you to snowplow names. Italy conquers Byzantium. Yeah, that sounds incredibly cursed. Like pulling a spiffing McBrit, or like pulling a spiffing Brit and conquering Japan as a nation of pirates. Oops. Yep. A big boat. Damn it. note to future Doc, don't pick it up by the front. They were useful for, if I recall, they were used primarily for deterring small vessels and as anti-aircraft, right? Yes. U-404. The U-boat that was captured in World War II, and then brought to, it is on display in the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry. It's an incredible exhibit. Actually has 50 caliber bullet holes in its conning tower, from the boats that were circling it, trying to get the German sailors to abandon the vessel. Whatever number it is. We found Nazi code books and all sorts of other equipment in it that help us decode German communications and other things that helped lead to intelligence to take control of the seas. And if I recall, we technically, and this is history is written by the victors kind of thing, we technically violated the Geneva Conventions and the Red Cross by not allowing the POWs to contact home after they had been captured. So it took until a couple years after the war, I believe, for them to actually be released back to Germany, in which time their families all believed that the sailors were dead. History's a bitch! Well, it wasn't just that, Night Owl. It was the fact that the International Red Cross had a long-standing understanding that POWs would be allowed to contact would be allowed to contact their family. And we needed to keep the knowledge of the Enigma secret, so you're technically a war crime. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about boats. Oh shit, we were talking about boats. Okay. What was I missing? My boss is texting me. Okay. There we go. Yeah, this is probably going to be the end of it. It most definitely is going to be the end of it. I can definitely get this done, I believe, in 12 minutes. It's just going to take not getting distracted and finding all of the pieces exactly when I need them. Wait, really? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I'm in my basement. One of the hardest questions various allied intelligence services had to ask themselves. They're not really this dumb, are they? Apparently the answer is yes. The ship was equipped with her own waterworks capable of heating and pumping water to all parts of the vessel. Like Tech said, turns out you really can lead an enemy into ambush if you ask them really nicely. Yup. Okay. Time is marching on. Okay, take this. Boof. Boof. Ow. Oh gosh. We're putting in some megaphones. Alright, I'm going to get the outro started. Thank you everybody for coming. I just have a couple of steps left, but thank you so much for coming in and joining me. Hope you all had a great time. And remember to stay safe, stay happy, and hail Cargonia.
Hold on.
And the stolen things obey the quartermaster unless he's a ling. Miners don't die today. Cargo techs push freight. Our enemies in disarray. All hail Cargonia.
Get back to work.